You are watching Fugitive Red Eye, and this is yet another installment of Tales from the Drive-Thru. Tales from the Drive-Thru is the series in which I talk about my many interesting experiences working in the fast food industry. As the title would indicate, today's episode is about my coworkers, and just how interesting some of them were. We'll start out with a grill guy who worked in the morning. Big guy. I'd say probably like 500-600 pounds, easy. Really tall, pretty muscular, also kind of overweight. He was a Colombian gentleman. We'll refer to him as Tito Dickman Baby, but Dickman for short. I'm sure some of you probably get that reference if people are actually watching this. But anyway, Dickman was a funny guy. He hardly spoke any English, and yet he was very graphic. Like, what I could understand was absolutely disgusting. And he's like 50, 60 years old, mind you. He's an older guy, and he has like a ton of health problems too. But he's a very fun guy. I mean, you wouldn't expect a man of his age to be so vulgar, but he was. It was hilarious. I remember there was a time, first off, he had this on-running joke where he'd tell me to do his job for him, essentially. He'd like, Angelo, please you sweep and mop. That was his job, obviously. Or he'd be like, you sweep and mop, and then he made a masturbatory hand signal, you know, moving his hand up and down. And I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, ¿Cómo se dice en inglés? En español es masturbation. And then he'd also commonly say shit like, you good boy, man. The problem is too much masturbation. Fucking hilarious guy. I mean, he was absolutely abhorrent in some of the shit he said, especially to the female coworkers. But he was a funny guy, and then one day he went on vacation and then just didn't come back. I hope he's okay. Dickman, if you're out there, I wish you the best. But that's about all about him. There was also there was this gentleman that was, I called him the General, actually. That's a nickname I actually gave him at work. He was the rudest to the customers out of anyone I've ever seen, and I actually thought that was his best quality, actually. I remember he would frequently tell people, I can't remember his exact wording, but I remember he would get in trouble for talking back to the customers on a regular basis. And whenever the managers would talk to him, he'd talk right back to them. And he wouldn't get written up, because, again, they needed people. They were super desperate. He was fucking great, dude. Like, General, if you're somehow watching this, man, it was a pleasure to work with you for those, for the time that I did, anyway. But, I don't really know much else to say about him. He was a funny guy. There was another guy, worked the night shift. Total fucking pothead, you could tell. We'll call him Cheech. He used to go out to the dumpster to smoke weed, and pretend he was taking out the garbage. Especially when Diego, the manager I spoke about in an earlier episode, would take over, because he would just be like, oh, I'm supposed to take out the garbage at night. He would lie to him because Diego was new there. And he'd go out and he'd smoke weed. He did eventually get caught, but yeah. Then there was let's see what else. There was like on the night shift, it was loaded with ex-cons. It was kind of interesting because McDonald's, they'll hire anyone. Like if you're an ex-convict and you're looking for a job, McDonald's is probably going to hire you. Just saying. I wouldn't recommend it because it's a shit job, but if you can't get any other work, you might want to give it a shot. But there was probably should have scripted this, but I don't script my videos. There was the original morning shift were probably my favorite to work with, but a lot of them ended up quitting. There was one guy who I'm not sure if he was actually bisexual or if he just liked to joke around. I would believe either. He was always trying to fuck one of the managers there too. But I don't really know what else to say about my coworkers, so I guess that does it for this episode. Thanks for watching and have a great day.